What a weird, shitty PC. Are we live? Is it working again? Is it working? Hello, is it working? It's kind of working. Oh, it looks pretty good to me. It looks to be working. Oh, this is not Warhammer. This is just something else I want to glue right now and put together. It's a Star Wars thing. This is definitely not Warhammer. It could maybe pass as, like, something else, but... I'm just gonna glue this, and then I'll do a bit of Warhammer. I'll figure out what I want to do. So many ideas, so little time. And this glue sucks. Also, they scam you. Look how much glue you get. This is like opening a bag of chips. This is a full bottle. Barely used anything. Like, I don't know, 8 drops. Yep, exactly, yeah. All scams. All full-blown scams. I get to see Ghost live next Sunday. Nice, brother. I kind of gave up on Ghost. I don't really listen to them anymore. I don't know if I'm a big fan of their new music. I prefer, like, the first 2 albums I know well. And the 3rd album I know pretty well. But, like, I got into Ghost through their very first album. So to me, that's more of what I prefer, but they're good. I do both. And I do Lord of the Rings, and we'll do End Times. Or not End Times. Old World. Well, exactly, yeah. That's why I'm saying the new stuff isn't really for me. It's okay, it's listenable, but, you know. It's not that it's bad, it's just a different sound. Yo, yo, yo. No, this is Star Wars. It's just a Star Wars thing. This has nothing to do with Warhammer. Tech Priest, yo, buddy. Yeah, we'll be here for like an hour or so. I've got a few things I want to do. I want to try and put this thing together first. It's, again, not Warhammer, but I want to glue it so I can at least start working on it elsewhere. And this glue blows. Yeah, this thing's pretty chunky. Thick creature. I don't know why it's not gluing. I guess the super glue just blows. Guess I gotta hold it for a bit. This is also gotta go here. Maybe if I had, like, super glue activator or something, because this is ridiculous. It's never this bad. Just break it off and do it. Yeah, super glue's kind of wanky. After dealing with plastic glue, super glue is just, like, annoying. It's very, very annoying. Yeah, it's just 3D printed. I didn't print this. A buddy of the stream... A buddy of the stream did a bunch of 3D printing stuff for me. And this was one of them. But I'm just trying to, put this thing together. But this is FDM printed. This isn't resin. It's a lot, It's much lighter, and the detail's not as good, but, like, it's way besides the point. Like, this thing looks good enough for what I want to do. I wonder if plastic glue just would have worked better. Is this not plastic? Can I not just melt it? That looks pretty good. It's a big fucking frog. Big frog. This thing's just a piece of shit. Ideally, once everything is glued, I'm just gonna douse this thing in, like, filler primer, sand the shit out of it, make it look hideous, and it'll be way good, but, like, I never realized it'd be this ridiculous to glue. Just hold it. No, this is like its mouth. Supposed to be a, it's called a Clatooine patty frog. Clatooine patty frog. It's this thing. Web image satanic. Fucking web images are so shit. Where's the Ghiazzo? I guess it's like its tendrils, it's like feelers. This thing. Clatooine patty frog. Well, have fun. If you want to go see Danzig, bro, I mean, that's, you know, have fun with that. Okay, I think it's glued. That's pretty cool. That is pretty good. I should probably sand this, but I don't... Yeah, whatever. Ooh. I wouldn't. I mean, that's how those guys make money, is merch. I don't know how much money they make through Spotify, but I don't think it's too good. Just a thought. I don't think it's too good. Oh, they're banned. Yeah. I mean, unless you're like Metallica, where you've made more money than like everyone in that sphere. Bruh. Well, Midnight and Danzig are both American bands, so it makes sense that they would tour their own country. Yes, this thing is very big. It's not Warhammer though. Don't worry. This is too big for Warhammer for me, and it's just I don't even know what this would be for. Maybe like a Tyranid. Okay, I think we're good. This glue doesn't seem very strong. It seems kind of shitty. It's on my fingers, but it seems weak. Super weak. It's that cheap stuff. Looks like it held, though. Good God, man. Yo, yo, yo. All right. This goes down, and then fuck this thing. It's done for now. There we go. It's a baby. It's giving birth. I think we're good. I think it did glue together decently. It's a Star Wars creature. We're about to be done, though, with this thing. It is a Star Wars freak. This fucking tentacle keeps coming off, man. This thing sucks. This glue blows. Okay. I think I can lay this baby down. Lay down. I think we're good. Looks like it stayed together. Fuck off. Okay. It's done. Go dry, you freak. Is this one thing? I think this is literally one thing. What? Get the door. Yeah, it's probably there. Go check. That was 3D printed, yeah, but not by me. Yeah. 1 sec. Ow. Yeah, it's done. There. Man, what the hell, what? What is wrong with this thing? Why can't super glue just be super? Super trash. Piece of shit. Let's see this actually. Yeah, this was FDM printed. But I need to do a shit ton of work to it before it's even close to being done. Actually gotta snap these legs off too. I gotta like position them so they look like they're kind of not floating. Oh, I don't, no, I don't have one. This was printed by someone else for me. I do not have one. I had resin printers. FDMs are interesting. They're very, very convenient, but you do have to put a little bit more work into finishing things off for sure. Although, you know, if you wanted to print something like this on a resin printer, good luck. That thing would be a brick. It'd be very heavy. Very annoying to finish, actually. Very, very annoying. I need to downsize this. 3D printers are, I thought about getting back into 3D printing because the new army book's coming out for Cities of Sigmar, and I kind of need bits. But that would also entail I need to, finish sculpting stuff, which I definitely cannot do right now. I don't have time. No time. Why is this not working? Right. Did you get it? Okay, good. Yeah, we're good. Oh, I know you can hollow the prints. Yeah, I've done a shit ton of hollowing. I've done a lot of 3D printing myself, but, it's typically the size. Resin printers can get extremely expensive for anything big. And FDMs are just easier to use. They're capable of much more at that scale with less headache. Because resin printers, oh my god, fucking nightmare. An entire hobby to deal with, which I don't want to. I had my you know, I really got into resin printing. I even modeled my own stuff and printed my own stuff. And I don't want to do it again. I really, really, really don't. I think printing other people's work, maybe, but like, these would need to be very simplistic things that I would probably get out, and they wouldn't be very big. Like, literal Warhammer bits is what I would do. You don't really need that. Well, I mean, you need tools, but special tools? Not really. Like clippers, knives, files, stuff like that. It's not very special. It's just normal. Normal for the hobby. Yeah. Oh, well, resin printers are really good for everything. Like, you can do super complex stuff. It's just how forgiving are you of a resin printer? You know, unless you dial in the settings perfectly and everything comes out and there's no issues, that's great. But, you know, it could be problematic. Like, you're gonna have so much shit failing on you before you even figure it out. Which is fine, it makes sense. No, hell no. Fuck, no, I don't like Dragon Ball. MK9 Kano was a weaker version of MK10, aesthetically, because it's the same voice actor. I think MK10 had the perfect version of Kano, in my opinion. MK11's Kano was good, but it was a bit toned back. The voice acting kind of carried it. Aesthetically, MKX's Kano was the best, period. That shit was too good. Still burned out of 3D printing. Yeah. I mean, well, you need a reason to do it, right? If it's for profit, I mean, that should be a pretty decent reason to go back to it, but if it's not for profit, I don't, you know, or a personal hobby, it's like, well, what is it for then? It is a hassle, though, for sure. Like, you put a lot of time and effort into 3D printing. More so time. I mean, resin printing? Fuck me, I'm never doing that again. And I'll only do it again if, like, if I really, really need to. And, I now know the setup and everything, and the workflow and all that crap, because it's just a mess. It's a big mess. If I can ever get someone else to 3D print something, I will absolutely do that. If I had a shed that I could, like, put 3D printers in with, like, some water and all that crap, oh, we're good, but it's not normal. You went all out. What's a bamboo printer? I got no idea what that is. Yeah, there's nothing scary about doing the hobby. If anything, I guess the painting can be a bit daunting, but even then, I think that's about it. The painting can be problematic, but that's why you practice. If you practice, it's not as problematic. At all. Ah! The fuck? Brother. I looked into my cup. I'm like, I took a stack of cups out of the closet, and I look into it. What the hell, buddy? They did, bud, with the poos. The fuck? Bro, there's like spiders eating it. What the fuck? Oh, wait. Those are eggs. Ew, what the fuck is growing in my apartment? Ew. They're like baby spiders. And I think there's like... Okay, I'm not gonna show... This is just going in the garbage, bro. It's like a bug died in the cup, and it laid eggs in the cup. Like, those little fucking dots are eggs, and there's actual things that are alive in there. Ew, ew, what the hell, boy? Nightmare fuel. I'm good. Get the incinerator. Fuck. Alright, they're dead. That was pretty easy. Very easy to kill those fucking things. Fucking nasty-ass bugs. All I did was turn the water on real hot. I dipped the fucking cup in some searing water, and those bitches were cooked. That's some lobster. Some bug lobster. Delicious. Nah, I'm not watching that movie. Warframe? Nah. Isn't that just it's like another time sink, no? Warframe? Murderer! Well, don't invade my space. Fucking bug died, laid eggs, and expected to live with its family in my closet? I'm good, man. Should probably go seal up a bunch of cracks. I swear to God, these fucking beetles keep getting in, man. They're annoying as shit. Yeah, okay, bro. The new what? That convention was cool. It was chill. I just played Street Fighter. That's all I did. I didn't really do anything else. Not gonna lie. Charged him rent. Oh, man. First time I've seen that. Shit. Oh, that thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, do furries get offended by that? You think they're mad? Interesting. Being offended by something like that, though, seems like a bit of a stretch. Like, I know it's implied to be a joke. It's not, but, like... I don't know, man. Necrons? Yeah, they still do Necrons. They do all that stuff. More Necrons than ever. There's so many Necrons, you can have a billion. Nah, painting Necrons is probably the easiest thing. Half the work is done when you just spray paint them. Like, Necrons are probably the easiest army to paint, period, in any war game. I can't think of an army easier than Necrons. But also, like, as boring as Necrons. Yeah, yeah. The games are good. They've gotten better from where they were at one point. Like, much better. There was a bunch of good Warhammer games way back when, though. I think they were also kind of, like, drowned out by a lot of bad ones. Which is why Warhammer games typically got a bad rap. Because all the bad ones kind of beat out the good ones, but... Okay, is that a fucking fruit fly? Bro, what the hell is in this apartment? There's no food! Why is there a fruit fly in the room? Why'd this just break, you bastard bug? We got problems. Oh, the new Space Marine game looks really good, yeah. I don't know what it is, but I now want to go do a deep clean of the entire apartment. Like, that is actually frustrating to look at. Why is there one singular random fruit fly? Just one. And then the beetles in the cup, that's different, but, like, what the fuck, man? This room needs to be cleaned. I don't even eat in here. There's no food one bit in this room. Nothing. Well, I've already had a mouse visit me. It looked at me in the dead of night. I woke up, stared into the kitchen, and he was sitting between the fucking stove and the cabinet, and then it ran the fuck away. It was a mouse. Not a rat, but... I wish Warhammer had good mobile games. See, I think that's where the genre was tainted, was mobile games. Like, people do love mobile games, and I can understand why in some cases, but I'm not really a fan of mobile games. I just prefer regular gaming. personally. I've done a painting stream. Yeah, I've painted stuff on stream. I want to get a better camera, though. This camera's kind of shit. I started painting, ew, what the fuck is this? Maybe this place needs a little bit of a cleanup. What the fuck? Anyways, I painted this dude on stream. I painted a little bit of this guy on stream. It worked out, but, like, the thing was, the camera angle and kind of where I need to be to paint things got a little awkward. But I finished this. That was one thing. Just a little, like, test paint of a dwarf. I think it came out pretty good. Maybe. I mean, Dead Space 1 remake was supposedly good. I never played it, but, you know. I need a bag. We need bag. That looks good. Thank you. I'm very slow with painting because I just don't do it enough. But, I actually do want to get back into painting. I want to paint all the Dwarf Lords. Just for fun. Not for an army. I know the old world's coming back, and, like, at that point, it would be cool. But the Dwarf Lords, I don't think, are even going to be usable. Like, Thoric, I guess, a few others, makes sense that they'd be back. It's a few hundred years. Well, streaming it, I mean, if you just want to chill and talk to people, that's why you'd stream it, right? People stream their commission work. People are, you know, commission painters that kind of stream on Twitch. It's just more of a hangout than it is, oh, come look at me paint, you know? Like, I'm no professional painter. There's a bunch of good people who do that stuff. But that'll not be me. I actually got to open up a package that I got a little while ago. It's been sitting in a box. Nah, I've read the books. Not all of them. Gotrek and Felix and stuff like that. I used to read the rule books. Who didn't? You know, if you played Warhammer back then, the rule books are, like, fucking awesome. Or more so the army books, but... These are good. These are cool. Blood in the Badlands. That book is... Yeah, it's... Dude, even the art of that book... hang on. So much more, man. Shit on the fucking... I had my Blood in the Badlands here at one point. I think I threw it in a bin and then put it in the garage. Yeah, it's in the garage. It's not here. Is that it? What is this? Nope. It's in the garage. Yeah, it's not here. It's gone. Well, I mean, if you just gotta find people to play with. With the old world coming back, I'm sure they'll do stuff like that. It's only a matter of time. I would say hold off on doing anything until the old world comes back, because you don't know, right? The old world could return and then everything could just be what it once was, you know? Ideally. Can't tell if these are recasts. I don't think they are. Hope they're not fucking recasts. I can't tell. Dawn of War Trilogy was really good. Messiah, yo buddy. Yeah, Dawn of War Trilogy was fucking awesome. I think that's where I kind of, not really got into 40k, but, like, that game in particular, I've got good memories with. That game was huge for Warhammer, man. That was, like, the first big video game breakthrough for 40k, I'm pretty sure. Before that, what would there have been? Space Marine sealed the deal. Yeah, it was pretty good. Well, games right now for Warhammer are pretty damn good. Honestly, they're really, really good. And they're only getting better. That's the crazy thing. Like, there is no better time to be into Warhammer than right now. Period. As a gamer, as a hobbyist, as anything. This is probably the #1 time for everything. Like, if you think back to when fantasy was around, fantasy died. It's coming back, but it's coming back even with its successor being a thing. So you've got Lord of the Rings, 40k, 30k, Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy, you've got Blood Bowl, Necromunda, Kill Team, Aeronauticus, the fucking flight game. Did I say Blood Bowl? Like, there's just so many things. There's so many things in Warhammer right now. And they're constantly releasing stuff for them. Like, there's video games. They did the Henry Cavill fucking show eventually. Just a bunch of shit, man. So much shit. What do I feel like these are recasts? Gotta find something. God, body. Hoarding. They look legit. I don't know if they are legit. I don't think these are. Warhammer community article with a massive dwarf picture. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to. They fucking... The one thing I wasn't a fan of was they gave the Slayers different colored hair. Did you see that? That was an odd detail. Everything else looked really good, but the Slayers in particular were very off-putting. It's very anti-lore friendly. Unless it is in the lore. And I just missed the part where Slayers don't dye their hair fucking orange. So maybe I'm the dumb one. I think these are legit. Hope they're fucking legit. I've seen the Rings of Power, yeah. The Rings of Dog Shit. Yeah, these are real. These are legit. I'm just being dumb. Well, you know what they were actually saying recently about the Rings of Power? They wanted to make an Lord of the Rings MMO based on the Rings of Power. And I'm like, oh, that's not going to sell. At least not to, like, actual people who are fans. Yeah. And Peter Jackson, I mean, bro, that shit looks phenomenal. The MMO got binned. Did it really? I'd use the AOS Fire Slayers for Slayers, though no way I'm buying those old-ass metal models. You're fucking trolling. You don't like the look of the OG Slayers? This is classic. Not as classic gets, but, like, this is these Slayer sculpts are the best. These look infinitely better than those Fire Slayers. Those emotionless, fake bum Slayers. But I can understand not wanting to work with metal, because metal's kind of a rough thing. Kind of takes a little bit to get into. Like, where's the, Old World News Warhammer. Fuck, the old world just keeps getting better and better. This shit looks fucking good as hell. Games Workshop is selling me my childhood back. I love it. They took it from me and now they're returning it. It's this picture. Those Slayers are good. You don't like those ones? The bottom right here? The weird thing is that they're all multicolored hair. That's the weird thing to look at. Everything else looks... I mean, that looks... I love this shit, man. Like, you've got the orange beard, but then you've kind of got, like, a straight-up gray beard, which actually looks pretty cool on a Slayer, but maybe not full-blown gray. Like, you still kind of need a bit of the orange dye. I think that looks so damn good. Rings of Power is a 7 out of 10 in a good day. When's a good day? Funerals are not good days. Oh, yeah. Oh, these look amazing. Yeah, the rank and file stuff looks really good. The only thing that really aesthetically puts me off about the new base sizes is, although it does look clean, I feel like sometimes people are too far spread. Like, whatever the hell they did with the Dwarf Warriors back in the day is kind of weird. Because, like, whenever you think of fantasy or, you know, sword and board, hand-to-hand, you know, fighting, if you've got a shield, and you're sitting next to a bunch of other people with shields, don't you think you'd form some sort of shield wall? Which, for dwarves, that's kind of like a basic thing. That's just what they do in general. But with the larger base sizes and the smaller shields, the typical small shields that they used to sell, it doesn't really look like a shield wall. It kind of looks like some sort of like skirmishing party. Because I thought about 3D printing custom shields that are as big as the dwarves to kind of take up the space of their body. Because the shields are just objectively too small. The Longbeards kind of have better shields, but even then, still objectively too small. But I guess it's just the aesthetic. Outside of that, I love it. Good stuff. Good classic shit. Yeah, Galadriel. I did a bit of 3D sculpting, yeah, not like anything crazy. Like digital stuff, yeah, it wasn't crazy. Did some Blender stuff. I've done like not Blender stuff. Let me hang on. Why do I feel like I've got recasts? I can't tell. I don't want to open this thing, though. Open up a shield. Tower shields? Well, actually, I was in the business of getting some recently. Some tower shields. Because those tower shields I need for Age of Sigmar. And finding them is, like, officially finding them, good luck. I think trying to officially find them is kind of a bitch, but... I don't know if these are recasts. I just don't even know. I can't tell. I don't think they are. Just beat the fuck up. Interesting. You don't have to get that broke. It's only if you stay with it for years, then you'll go broke. Getting into the hobby is probably a few $100. Being fully committed to the hobby is probably a couple thousand later on, down the line. No one ever spends a couple hundred on the hobby if they like it. It will get to thousands of dollars. Absolutely. And if you think that's crazy, that's just kind of the norm for Warhammer. You work, you make a shit ton of money, you know, after years and years and years, and then you blow it on Warhammer. Yeah, well, there you go, thousands. The entry isn't that bad. I would say the entry is kind of like maybe getting into a console. If you were to buy like a PlayStation or an Xbox, that's the entry. Of course, there's more, in my opinion, there's more longevity to Warhammer than there is like a console, period. But it depends on what you want out of the hobby. Some people want to do like the actual gaming. Some people want to do the creation, so the painting and the modeling. But if you do everything, which is typically what you should be doing, just because you get the most out of it, you can spend a lot of time doing shit like this. A lot of years. I've done it pretty much since, I don't know, fucking elementary. Probably elementary, actually, I've been into Warhammer. And I didn't have much initially, obviously, because when you're a kid, how much fucking money do you have? But, yeah, I started back then. Yeah, I do 40k. I do a little bit of 40k. I forgot what I wanted to do. General hobby supplies is useful, but I would never go with shitty paint. Like, if you're going to be painting your $100+ miniatures, you should be using, you know, miniature brand name stuff. Outside of that, everything can be pretty general. You know, you can get clippers from anywhere. You can get scissors and a blade and all that crap. You can go to the dollar store and find some of it if you really want to, but if you want to finish stuff, yeah, don't cheap on the paint. And if you're limited on space, that could also be a thing, because this hobby takes up a lot of fucking space. Way too much, honestly. I don't really bother with that stuff, but then again, I haven't painted too much recently. I've been getting back into it, slowly painting things, but for me, it takes a long time. I'm too busy with other stuff, man. I'd like to sit down and just work on Warhammer for like months on end, but I just don't have the time. Unfortunately. But it is a rewarding hobby, you know? If you sink a lot of time into it, you will get a lot out of it. If you sink not as much time into it, it might not feel like you're having fun, but I guess whatever time you do have that you want to put towards it, that's good. You can start. Yeah. Contrast is just another tool in the toolbox. It can replace people's, you know, paint regime and all that crap completely. But for me, I would look at it as more of a tool, not like something to completely phase out traditional painting. Okay. Can I snap this thing's legs? Can I cap its knees? How do I want to break this thing? Snap. Maybe don't snap. This thing's not going to stand. Which is... Okay, if he needs to stand up... Nah, this is a Star Wars creature. This is not the Flood. Just trying to figure out how I want to break this thing's legs. Because he can't really stand. And I kind of want him to stand. Maybe the goal isn't to have this thing stand, though. The fuck would I even put this anywhere? Chorf minis? Nah, it's not for me. I have below 0 interest in Chaos Dwarves. Those things are just abominable. But you know what's good? They're coming back. That's not good for me. I don't like them, but like it's good for people who like them. Because now you're able to purchase things that probably weren't available readily and for a decent price. Because the Chaos Dwarves initially... The Chaos Dwarves initially were all Forge World. And now that they're not all Forge World... Well, no, they weren't. When they first came out, I believe GW picked it up. But then later in its life, it's like 90% of the army was Forge World, or the entirety of it was Forge World, I believe. And I mean, if you've got that money to spend on an entire army of Forge World miniatures, that's a little weird. Which people did. People did do it. It's kind of like when people used to do Krieg. Krieg was all Forge World, and now Games Workshop's like, okay, fuck the Forge World. People want it mainstream. And so now you could buy, like, full Krieg squads for plastics. Which is pretty big news. Well, they had a very old army book at one point, but yeah, they didn't really get anything. I want to go onto the website, actually, really quickly. Window capture. A lot of things will get army books, though. Because GW knows how much money they can be making off stuff like this. Like, Chaos Dwarves were only popularized because of Total War. Cathay was only popularized because of Total War. Vampire Coast was only popularized because of a game. Right? They all came from the game. Not initially, but they were given life through gaming, and then GW being a company, you know, they want to sell minis and make money. That definitely makes sense. Do they ever just sell shields of some kind? No. It's like at the end of the day, as long as they're making money, they're good, man. GW is way good. Stormcast shields. Would be good. What I want. Still on a square base, eh? Right on time for the old world. Perfect. No, they don't have that anymore. I actually had looked for that at one point. I need tower shields. I need some tower shields to convert. Or I try my hand at modeling and then 3D printing them, but that is just a fucking headache. Dark Elf shields are too angled. I'm looking for big square shields, big beefy square looking things. Or I could go with, like, spherical ones and try and find that old Stormcast kit. Warplock Giselles. It's probably too expensive and they're all metal. I'll take a look at them, though. Must see you, buddy. Man, they already got the Croxagore out here. These look pretty good. Old Chaos Warrior shields. Yeah, I can't really see most... I do remember them, but they kind of remind me of Stormcast shields. And if anything, the Stormcast ones would be better because they're cleaner, and I can kind of, like, cut them up more. Some sort of modification. Because the Chaos Warrior shields are still with... There's the Sphere shields. They're still with the new Chaos Warriors. Because the new Chaos Warriors have just a barely updated look, and it looks really good. What about these dudes? They got shields? Oh god, they're elven horrible. Horrible shields. Yeah. Perry Brothers historical stuff. I'm gonna try and stick to like GW official sculpts. I know the Perry Brothers though. They shaped a lot of the good GW stuff. Bretonia's got a few interesting shields. I figured I'd wait until the old world comes back to try and look at the peasant shields. Peasant ones were pretty rectangle-ish. There are shields. There are tower shields from Lord of the Rings. I have one. I have a bunch somewhere in a box. But here, right now, I don't have any. That's the right. Oh, they are here. Oh, they're not very big at all. No, they're not too big. New Cities of Sigmar shields. Those are too big. I'm talking about, like, the Fusiliers. You can't really see it. These are very expensive. This is a tower shield. That's a dwarf tower shield at that. What does it look like with this? Actually, that's pretty nice. That looks pretty good, but I don't really know how I would do that. Because what I'm trying to do is, I'm going to be playing New Cities, and I need to convert dwarves into Fusiliers. So I'm just going to take Thunderers, and then try and find some sort of tower shield. This actually isn't that bad for the size of the dwarf. It would kind of work, but it would have to be, like, heavily modified. Reminds me of a Tomb King shield anyways, too. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. That is a possibility. Somewhere, though, there might be a good... You know, don't need to mod it too much tower shield. That is a GW bit, because I don't want to go to, like, third party or something like that. Not for this. Because the Fusiliers look pretty cool. I think they're one of the few things that do look cool in the new army. Yeah, I played a GW store. If I didn't play at a GW store, I'd go ham, but, like, I like the people at my GW store. I like the employees. I like the manager's very fucking kind. Super nice guy. Super, like, easy to talk to as well. Could sit there for, like, hours talking to the guy. Site's wrong. Go on, change your name and see if it works, because it doesn't work. Oh, the Warplock Giselles have, like, Skaven-shaped shields. No, that wouldn't work. None of this works. Death and Destruction, I know for a fact, won't work. Yeah, I'm waiting. I mean, I've talked to Riot about it. So I'm waiting to hear back from Riot. Like, a rep, not, like, putting a ticket in. I use the LPP to talk to them. Tower shields. You know what I kind of looked at for a tower shield? Was the... Who are the dudes in Horus Heresy? Iron Fists? Not the Iron Fists. The yellow breacher dudes. They've got, like, the big shields. They stand side by side with, like, the bolter through the shield. Who are those dudes? The fuck were they called? It's probably the Imperial Fists, yeah. They had some shields. I think they were on Forge World, though, for way too much money. Oh, that's right. Necromunda has some good shit. Let me take a look. No, it's box games. What are they called? Palatine Subjugators. Ooh, maybe a little bit too futuristic, but I like the idea. I mean, obviously you'd want to convert them, right? But you know what these look like? These look more Votann. I think if I was going to convert something to make it look like Votann, like a 40k shield wall or something, that would look pretty Votann. It looks too machined. Not handcrafted. But I like the idea. It would be... I'd pretty much have to cut the shield, like, right here. Imperial Fist Breachers. That's... Those are on Forge World? This is a good recommendation, though. I appreciate that. Oh, the Ogryns! You're right, and they're... I could probably buy the bits on eBay. You're right, the Ogryn, the bully shields. The little fucking maul shields. Not the slab shield. You're right. I completely forgot about the Ogryns, that they have two different types of shields. You're right, you're right, you're right. Big brains here. I think I even have a box of Ogryn lying around. Not that sprue. The sprue. They've got the Aquila on it. It's kind of hard to work with. Because the big riot shield thing, that's just too much. That's too much. Yeah. I wonder. You could get the slab shield and cut it in half, but it would still be so fucking wide. It would be so wide, and I'd have to modify them hardcore. Ideally, you would cut the slab shield here, and then you'd chop the side panels off, and you'd have the visor, the thing sticking through, but in my mind, there are 3D prints of these shields that are so easy to get that if my brain didn't work the way it did and I wasn't playing at a GW, it would be an easy buy. Because they look fucking great. And they're literally on Cults, which is, you know, a 3D printing website. STL website. Here. Like, those are Dwarven Tower shields, and I was thinking you'd have the mouth open up. You'd basically cut a mouth and then do whatever, and that's where the rifle would come out of, is the dwarven mouth. Because those look good. Those absolutely look like dwarven tower shields. The choices. Send down the... Yeah. It's still a matter of, like... A blank slate would make more sense, basically. I honestly might go with the Lord of the Rings ones, but even then it's a little too expensive to get, like... How much is it? Let me see. As a Doom. You get one shield for $24. Yeah, that's a blue stuff mold for sure. That's 100% blue stuff mold. That would be a good base to work on, though. That's a pretty decent looking shield. Or you just create one. Yeah, too much. This is too much money. No way am I going to buy, like, 50 teams to get 50 shields for 50 Fusiliers. That's just not happening. Hey. What are you doing? Oh. That is too much. What if I just type shield? I think I did that right. Yeah, it's crap. Shield captain with no shields. They've got nothing. I might just wait for the old world to come back and then figure it out. Because they've got a bunch of shields. Maybe they'll do a tower shield. Or, you know what? Maybe I can just, like, convert the Fusilier shield, but I'm not sure. The dwarves have Ironbreaker shields. Longbeard... I think the Longbeard shields actually have faces. But of course they're all flipped. I can't see them. Which I do own some, but... Oh yeah, I mean, it was suggested the press molds make more sense. Which, yeah, for sure. Didn't we already see these? Why are we getting an article on them? Oh, wait. Look at that horse. Oh my god. Where are the Fusiliers? I really like the setup of those shields. They look good. I'm just trying to figure out how the hell I would make it even work. Yeah. Yep. The whole book was leaked and I was looking through that bitch. Oh yeah. There they are. I love the big shields. I love the tower shields, but I don't necessarily like the design. Like the aesthetic, like the idea. It's good. Fusiliers. Fusiliers. What can I do with that? I don't think I could do anything with this, actually. It's it's definitely a cool take on the Empire, you know, what they would become. Jesus. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could see it. If you were to take this... No, there's no way the gun's molded into the middle. That's no way. What I would do is chop the feet off. So, chop this leg, chop the chains, chop the leg, chop this quarter and this thing, and you would kind of have a very small, squat shield. And then maybe you could do something with it, because my idea of the shield would be... It would be a dwarven face, full-blown dwarven face. The beard and everything is kind of the skirt piece that hits the floor. And the mouth would be open, and the gun would come out of the mouth, and the Thunderers would shoot through the mouth. But looking at it now, I don't think that's possible. Because the gun would be... The gun is held too high. And the shield would have to be the size of, like, a tree. The gun shields. Yeah, these are coming. These are cool. I wish I could see the sprue. Is there any way to see the sprues? Did it leak? Are there Fusiliers in the box set? Does anyone know? Because if they're in the box set, I think I can look at the leaks. Was the imager taken down? I think it was. Nope, still here. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's make it bigger. This thing. Take a look at it. You don't even get Fusiliers, so me looking at this doesn't help. Nah, it doesn't help me at all. It does look like the shields should be separate, though, from the guns. No, Fusiliers aren't in the box, look. You don't get any. 2 squads of 10 troops. That's it. That's it. Every shield looks to be separate, though. So why wouldn't the Fusiliers be separate? It would make sense. Oh, yeah. Did they tell us when this was supposed to be on pre-order? Not yet? Okay. The points listed in the book say November. What? A real November, bro? I mean, I guess I have a lot of time to plan. I need some bits from this army, it seems. I need those shields. The Fusilier shields, I think, will be good. It'll be a very good base to do what I want to do. Those are big fucking cannons, bro. Look at that. What the fuck? They don't look like that in the game. Not like that at all. Well, I was thinking the old world would be back around Christmas, so it's crazy to think that if these guys also come out around Christmas... I mean, what's stopping them? Because there's nothing, right? It's just, if you put them out at Christmas, people will buy, and I will buy. Mostly not the miniatures, I just want the book, but then... For some of this stuff, I probably will get it anyways. Oh my god, it's Belagar. Fusel Sergeant with brace of pistols. Jesus Christ. The big fucking shield. Yeah, Fusiliers are going to be pretty OP. For sure. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not a fan of shooting armies, I just like lore. And I'm sorry, but dwarves typically shoot you to death. that's just what it is. Favorite dwarf type? Like, unit? I really like the castle idea. I mean, even Cities of Sigmar, you played as castle. That's just what you were. You protected your assets, and everything else just kind of did its job. Subrace? Oh, I don't like any subrace. That looks like Gromrel. Yeah. These are actually pretty decent painting, air quote, tutorials. These aren't that bad. How to do wood. I mean, I don't know if it's exactly perfect, but it looks good. Dewarden Order. Form shield wall. Interesting. Yeah, the yellows. It's all right. It's an okay theme. I think. I mean, they're clearly making a very big distinction between like AOS and fantasy. Because with fantasy coming back, it's like, how do we make much more of a statement in Age of Sigmar to make them look like not Empire? And it really shows. This shit doesn't look at all like the Empire. This looks nothing like the Empire. This is like they forfeit all their fucking gear and clothing and everything they've built, and they just made it all anew in very religious looking iconography and, you know, all these crazy little designs and things. It looks very AOS. It's not really my favorite look, but I think for Age of Sigmar, it's very good. The Breton... Yeah, they do look like Bretonian peasants, I would agree. The state troops were so simple, man. I loved it. Some of them didn't even have shoes. I don't know what the fuck was they were doing, but they do look a little peasanty. Yeah. Interesting. It'll be interesting as well to see, like, they kept steam tanks, they kept a few old Empire things, and it's like, how do you, you know, seeing an Empire steam tank dude dressed out in his uniform, surrounded by a bunch of like Fusiliers and things, like the outfits are different. Skaven, I don't like Skaven. There's not an ounce of me that just has anything towards Skaven. I don't like them. Oh, I Skaven, bruv. What's crazy is they're using the old shitty metal tree man model with the wood elves when the current tree lord Durthu plastic kit is literally from 8th edition fantasy. No, they're using the old metal tree men models. That's a unit. That was a unit that got canned. Like, you didn't play with 3 Durthus in a unit, or like tree lords. Like, there was literally a tree man unit. It was like a lesser tree man unit. Like, there was a large one, and then they... Was there a large one? There were tinier units of tree men. Am I just losing my shit here? Hang on. Maybe I'm losing my shit. Maybe you're right. There was a bigger single one, though. I'm pretty sure the new plastic one replaced it. Yeah. But I believe before that, there was a unit of smaller tree men. I'm positive there was. But you're right. The big plastic one replaced the big metal one. That was literally just named Wood Elf Tree Man. Yeah, you're right. Then what the hell were the other ones called? Tree Men? Plural? I'm losing my mind here. What the hell, but where'd you see the image? Where was the image exactly? Was it in the old world stuff? Gotcha. We go check. Oh, yep. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's the old tree man. I see him. Well, you know, here's the thing. I don't really see the point. I don't see the problem in bringing back the original model, because you can still use the new one. It's just the base size, right? Makes sense. People like the old one. You know, people really love the old one, I'm sure. And they just want it back for nostalgic reasons. They prefer it. There's money to be made if you have the molds. Why not? You just cast the bitch up in metal. Takes 2 seconds. I'm getting fucking tired. I'm getting tired and I gotta go to bed soon. It's the main studio not wanting the specialist game studio to use anything from AOS. I mean, they have the long beards. They're using the hammerers. Like, those guys were AOS kits. What about them? Belagar Ironhammer. The Rune Lord. The Single Slayer, the plastic one. He's gone, actually. He's dead. What is cool, though, about... yeah, a few of them you can't really get rid of. Like, what about the steam tanks, right? To be fair, looking at this article, though, this image in particular, nothing here is in production? I think everything here is not in production. They don't have... oh, no, that's bullshit. Nah, that's bullshit. They'll have night goblins. That's such an integral part of orcs and goblins. Why would they not have them? I would even suspect that they're going to bring back the older Fnatic kit. You know, it was like a square little mini box and you got like 3 of them in it. I'd even suspect that comes back, but that's just me. Because right here, that's an AOS kit. Everything else is not. Steam Tank AOS kit. What I love, though, I mean, this is more of like a classic, right? Like, we have the molds, we're making the miniatures. The older stone trolls are coming back. I love those sculpts. Those are really good. These are not in AOS. None of this shit's in AOS. They even have the fucking old goblins. Ay, ay, ay. In a way, I feel like GW doesn't actually want fantasy to come back. It's just they saw the potential for money, and that's why they're bringing it back. Like, in a way, I feel like they just wanted it dead and gone for whatever reason, but... internal feud with the 2 studios. I mean, this is the money, bro. This is the money shot right here. All this stuff coming back, this is moolah, cha-ching, cha-ching. Those were really nice, yeah. You know, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember any of the fantasy stuff from Forge World? The terrain kits? There was a bunch of older resin terrain kits that were put on Forge World a while ago. I was on eBay one day, and someone put up a resin coach house. Like a big, like, you know, empire building. And he wanted over $1,000 for it. I go back the next day, sold. Like, there's money to be made. If GW wants to put that shit out again, I mean, you're making some big dosh. Initially announced some new models and plastic kits. Well, I'm okay with that. Honestly, I think the idea... well, that's what I was saying. I'm like, do they even want to really bring it back? Or are they just bringing it back because everyone complained? Rightfully so. And they saw the success of Total War. And, you know, for a game that great and that big, people are like, okay, I just spent $300 on the game and all the DLC. I can't wait to go play the tabletop. You go to the website, there's not an inch of fantasy. Nothing is there. Like, this universe is badass. This universe is infinitely better than Age of Sigmar. And it was gutted because it wouldn't sell. And he can't trademark it. Leave me with it. Yeah, some things, honestly, it's like some things you can upgrade like, if we're really looking at this picture in particular, if you want to talk about upgrades, the only thing that would ever need to be replaced is, like, the flame cannon, because that's from a previous edition. Like, all of these were updated except the Slayers were kind of updated, but the flame cannon was not. Grudge thrower, cannon, organ gun, all that shit got upgraded. Flame cannon had 2 iterations, but this one still felt behind the other ones. Oh, yeah, the Green Knight would be amazing. Absolutely. But, you know, they could be doing that. They could, because it's easier for them to tackle individual miniatures than it is to make a unit, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, but also I wouldn't complain if they just brought back the Green Knight, right? The older metal mini. Because it looks good. You know, you can update it, but, like, do you really need to type of deal? These minis look fucking great. For being, like, completely discontinued and thrown in the bin, like, I love these kits. Even if it's, you know, place of nostalgia, like, the Boar Boys, these are amazing. And the Boar Boys were thrown in the trash, never to be sold again. It's just a good, you know, here's the thing as well. You don't really know what you're getting into because this did fail before. Warhammer Fantasy failed. Age of Sigmar, huge success. But I guess what makes sense is why start producing full-blown units such as, like, plastic slayers, you know, maybe a new updated state troop, whatever it may be, when you can kind of just push out the individual characters first, see if people are interested, and then maybe it might be worth updating sculpts, because I know a few sculpts that could use some TLC. Like, if you're selling me those fucking goblins from the Orcs and Goblins kit, like, man, those things are hideous. Those are from a previous edition, I believe. They never got a sculpt update. It's interesting, though. Why is it not working? Oh, it would make sense, but my only thought is, why sink that much money into it when you don't know how much you're going to get out of it? And you could say the same thing about anything, like, you know, they didn't know about Age of Sigmar, but it just did really well. Yeah, the resin molds, yeah. I mean, it costs a shit ton of money to tool plastic stuff, so that's why they're probably not taking the risk. They're going to test the waters, see what people like, see if a lot of the older fans come back to play Fantasy, because, yeah, they did lose a lot of people, I guess, in that regard. But, like, the people who are getting into Fantasy are the ones who are used to it, like back in the day, or the ones who came from Total War. Age of Sigmar is just, it popped out of nowhere, and it's like, Fantasy's dead, this is the new god. And people jumped it, you know, they said, fuck that shit, blah, blah, blah. Some people went with it. I went with it. I like AOS. Anyways, it's getting late. I'm gonna go chill. I got a bit of cleaning to do, seeing as there was 2 bugs in here earlier, so clearly something's wrong. Take care, everyone. Be well. I will be on the main channel probably tomorrow when I'm not busy. But yeah, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and have a good night. Peace, man. Peace, folks. Missing out on the potential on a rope and new players for the old world, relying on... Well, the video game is the new players, right? Because the video game is what even brought life back to Fantasy. Anyone you talk to about Warhammer who's never played Total War, or who's never played Fantasy back in the day, they think... They don't know anything about Fantasy, so it's like, how do you bring new people in? Well, the new people are from Total War. That period. There's no other way to kind of bring them. Anyways, I'll be on later. Peace, folks. Take care of yourselves.